my goodness, what a play. Pressured, and down he goes. Going to be hit, dropped for a loss. Guess who? Robert Quinn.
I joke around. I call him Hercules all the time. He's chiseled like a DB, you know what I'm saying? And he looks like an action figure. When he hit the field, it was just lights out.
Here to throw is Pinckney, gets sacked. Robert Quinn. This young man is playing like a guy that sometime in his career ought to be All-American.
When teams preparing for our defense, I mean, they just look 42. We got to go around 42.
Here's Sewell. He's in trouble. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 31. Robert Quinn again led the charge for the Carolina defense.
I let my actions do the talking for me. I mean, I'm a soft-spoken, shy. I'm really a shy guy. Like I said, I sort of related myself to the Incredible Hulk. When you make him mad, he'll turn into that big old green monster. With me, when I step on the football field, I become that big old Carolina blue monster.
Taken down in the backfield by Robert Quinn, who just ran right over the blocker to make that play. Wow.
I like to set my standards, and I got to see what someone did to know where I got to set my bar to. So I try to never be satisfied until, I guess, when I actually hang up the cleats and stop playing.
Hanging up the cleats is not something the average collegiate football star will frequently mention. Then again, there's nothing typical about Robert Quinn. Standing 6'5" and weighing in at 270 pounds, Robert was built to play football, a fact that became clear early in his playing days at North Charleston's Fort Dorchester High School. As a blue-chip recruit and two-time state wrestling champ, Robert entered his senior season with eyes to his suddenly bright future. But as his final year of high school rolled on, signs began to emerge that all was not well.
Just simple plays he was missing. A running, he'd be sitting right here, and a running back will run right by him. I'm looking like, man, you didn't see that dude? You know, I know it was bothering him because he would say, Dad, how did I play tonight? I said, you did okay. But you could see it because it wasn't him, just the way he was performing. And then when he passed out at school, that's when everything started falling into place.
It was my fourth period class, about midday. The class just got over, and I was getting up out my desk and walking down the hall, and started walking again. All of a sudden, I'm waking up off the ground.
So they rushed him, to the nurse's office, and I went straight to, to the school. And, when I got there, he seemed fine. He just said, Mom, I didn't eat no breakfast. I just didn't eat nothing, Mom. I'm fine. It's just strange, because the next day he woke up like nothing happened. I came back home, like nothing ever happened. And then as weeks went by, I kept saying something's wrong with my son. I just can't put two and two together, but I knew something was wrong.
Something was wrong, but Robert continued to take the field each weekend nonetheless, even with continued headaches and an episode in which he blacked out while driving home from a friend's house. Despite the evidence to the contrary, Robert continued to assert that he was okay, a claim that seemed credible, until the morning of October 28, 2007.
It's about 4 o'clock in the morning, I believe it was, 4 or 5 in the morning, and I heard a big thump.
Woke up to get ready to go use the bathroom. As I was walking to the bathroom, I remember just my dad slapping me in the face, waking me back up off the ground.
He was out cold. Well, we had to hit him in his face and, get him to open up his eyes, and that's it. I said, that's it. I'm gone. Let's go. Let's get your clothes on. Go to the hospital.
At the hospital, a CAT scan revealed that Robert had a tumor in one of the fluid compartments of his brain. The condition required immediate surgery and held unspeakable ramifications for his playing career.
Finally, when the big nurse from the medical university came, she told me and him that his career was over.
And as soon as she walked out, I just looked at my mom and just broke down. How you say, I was sort of like the booping miles. I was bawling like a baby. But it hurt me like I was done.
the next morning, you know, he went into surgery.
Rather than remove Robert's tumor, surgeons inserted a shunt into his brain to drain the excess fluid accumulating around the growth. And while the surgery was a complete success, it brought scary revelations to the nature of Robert's condition.
All the fluid they pulled out from like what the tumor had built up, the doctor said I should have been brain dead. I mean, from there, that's all I needed to hear, and I figured if I make it through that, I'm a walking blessing if I can't play football.
But early in Robert's recovery, it became evident that football wasn't out of the question. And 2 months after his surgery, the Quins got the news they previously believed impossible.
A month or two later, when I finally went back to go see him on a checkup, and he, went to see how things were going, and
he says he'll be able to play again. So it was just something.
So I mean, that's all I needed, and I just sort of took it and ran with it.
Robert's recovery was a rapid one. Only months after his surgery, he returned to the wrestling mat, earning a third straight state heavyweight title. That fall, he enrolled at North Carolina to continue the career doctors had told him was over.
Putting the pads back on and helmet and all that just made me, I don't know, well, that's a warm feeling inside. Like I'm back. Everything's back. I'm fine. Let's go do this. Let's go try to make a name for myself.
I think the first football game was that he got to play. He started was Rutgers.
Here comes Carolina with, oh my goodness! Handed the ball off to Mason Robinson, and brother.
When I saw him make that tackle, I was like, oh my God, all right, oh my God. But he got up like the champ, like, I'm the big fan here. I'm back.
I was happy. Seeing him back out there, doing his thing, something he loved to do.
Robert's parents weren't the only ones taking note of their son's success on the field. After a stellar freshman season, Robert earned the Brian Piccolo Award, given to the ACC's most courageous player. And in 2009, he was named first team All-ACC and the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. While his abilities on the field continue to bring Tar Heel fans to their feet, his resiliency and maturity off the field continue to inspire family and teammates alike.
When I heard about it, I was shocked, but it kind of made sense, because, adversity, changes people's personalities and stuff like that, and I think it did anything but made him a better person, throughout everything.
He's a humble guy, He don't even let it bother him anymore. I worry every time, when he's out on the field, please don't hit my child on the head or, Him, it's nothing.
I'm one of the few that got a second chance, and I'm not going to let this one slip away. So any second the hole up under my tumor could close up, and if it happened to do while I'm still in college, I want to make sure I can look back and say I don't regret not going hard this play or that game, whatever. So I'm trying to just take the full advantage of the second opportunity that I have.